Hello, this is Steve Henning coming to you live from the Work Truck Week show. I'm here with John Critelli, Director of SDG Sales at Mitsubishi HC Captial America. Thanks for agreeing to spend a few minutes with us, John.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
Well, excellent. So let's talk a little bit. There's been a whole lot in the news, even this week, about EVs, all of the implications in terms of what the administration is doing and so forth. And I was at the Green Truck Summit yesterday, lots of discussion about that. But what's your take, or what can you share with us?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's certainly a continued level of uncertainty, right? As I think was coined yesterday. When I started doing EV and mobility about 5 years ago, we thought that, and coming to this show where Green Truck Summit was actually starting, is that it was going to be a transition between diesel and an electric vehicle, and that was the definition of the transformation to electrification.
Right.
What it appears to be, and I've said this in a few different ways in the past, is that there are going to be iterative steps. That it's not going to be a one-step process between diesel and EV. It's most likely going to be a journey between diesel, some form of hybrid, some form of alternate fuel, and then EV.
That makes sense.
And so I just think this session, and I think we'll see it in future sessions, reinforces the frame of reference, is that this transformation to electrification is not in days and months and years, but the frame of reference really needs to be more in decades.
Okay.
And I think that allows the technology to catch up. It allows the charging infrastructure to catch up to the levels that I think it needs to be for customers and their TCO calculations.
That makes a lot of sense. And you talked about the infrastructure, and you used a word that I really like, which is the journey. I think that's a really great way to put it, because that evokes a certain thought of there are steps and it's iterative and you keep going and you keep going. So along those lines, how does your company look to help customers, transition to that?
Yeah, so it's, we came to the realization that as a finance organization, we just can't do it all ourselves, and we need really good partners. And we need to be part of an ecosystem. And that ecosystem can be various ways of financing vehicles, various ways of providing charging infrastructure solutions, and not necessarily provided by Mitsubishi HC Captial America.
Okay.
It's going to be provided in partnership with other companies and other ecosystem partners. That's what they do very well.
Right.
We lend into the solution extremely well. That's what we do. We've been doing it a long time. We have a lot of experience. We've got great people. But, and I'll refer to the charging infrastructure side, that's not something that we're an expert in.
Right.
So we've had to go out and find some of the best companies in the world, but that's what they do. And this whole as-a-service concept, I think, is being proven out.
Right.
But it's there, and I think we can learn how to participate in a as-a-service concept if that's the best solution for the customer.
Okay.
So that's kind of the lens that we are looking through right now.
I think that's a perfect lens, that partnership. You recognize this is our area of expertise, and there's other organizations that have other areas of expertise, and you mentioned the word ecosystem, which is really what it's all about.
Yes.
Is finding those organizations that are experts in specific areas, and then you, of course, help your customers with the financing part, which is what you're experts in.
That's right.
That makes complete sense to me. I like that approach a lot.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe stepping beyond, let's say, that journey to EVs or hybrids or whatever the case might be, but step beyond that a little bit. What else can you share with us? What's new in the world of Mitsubishi HC Captial America today?
Yes, I think it's it's an interesting evolution where we do class 1 through 8, and I think what we're seeing now is that there are pockets of green and pockets of red. And so we as an organization are in the process right now of doing a segment strategy analysis on, where is this EV best going to be suited. And I think what we've seen so far in my 5 years of doing this is that, medium duty vocational and final mile are very well suited towards EV.
Absolutely.
And I think the jury is still out on heavy duty,
Right.
where you've got potentially hydrogen and other things. You still have charging infrastructure barriers for long haul or over the road type applications. So we are very focused in that medium duty vocational space.
Sure.
We feel like that's an area that we've done well in. We feel it's an area that's going to grow, and we feel that it's an area that's suited for what I said when we first started,
Right.
which is it's very well suited for diesel, it's very well suited for hybrid, it's very well suited for alternate fuel, and we know it's well suited for EV, and so we want to be in the right place at the right time over the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years.
Again, great approach. You look at, sounds like you look at your customers and say, where are you in this journey or this path? We can help you in these various stages, but let's make sure it's the right fit for you, which, gosh, why wouldn't that make the most sense?
Right.
Shouldn't everybody be doing that?
Yeah, it's if we've learned any lessons along the way, it's, one size does not fit all.
Yeah.
And everyone is trying to achieve something a little bit different. And there's a lot of customers that are out there trying to do a TCO analysis and make financial sense of this decision. There's another group of people that are doing this because they've made a public sustainability pledge.
Right.
And now it's become part of their culture and their company. And and there are some that are both. Some that have said, I got to have a TCO that mathematically is the right thing to do, and I've got to have a sustainability goal that we as an organization want to meet. And so in my conversations with senior level customers, it's how do I help them achieve both?
Perfect.
But it really is, it is so situational.
Yes.
And it's small fleet to large fleet to, the 2-truck user. It's just, we just have to be that flexible.
Again, makes sense to me, and from my time in the space, and particularly my time in the space knowing Mitsubishi HC Captial America and how you approach things, it takes me back to probably early days of my career when I was told, listen much more than you talk.
Yeah.
And understand what your customer needs before you just let me blurt out a solution. That's not really the right approach. If you hear what they need,
That's right.
you can probably serve them.
Agreed.
Okay. Well, John, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time
Thank
today.
you, Steve. Appreciate it. Thank you.